Hey guys, I'm that baker lady. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a very simple grill cake with a homemade Rice Krispie treat hamburger patty on top. So what I'm going to be using today is a 5-inch cake. I have a 7-inch board. This is my filling for my cake. I have 2 piping bags with gray frosting, and this is going to frost the entire cake. I have a little bit of gray frosting in a very fine tip bag, so it's just the bag, I barely cut it, and this is going to help with the grill lines on top. A drip bottle with black frosting in it, smoother for our frosting, plastic knife. We're going to do some black lines for the hamburger patty, some grill lines on that Rice Krispie treat patty. So I have some black dye here and a paintbrush, my Rice Krispies, and some marshmallows. I have cocoa powder and a little bit of butter with brown dye in it. Let me show you a little bit closer. So I totally should have just did the chocolate, the Cocoa Crispy, whatever they're called. But I had already bought this, and when I made my Rice Krispie treat, I didn't like how brown it was. So I, even adding the brown food coloring, I didn't like it, how brown it was. So I added the cocoa powder, and it made it a lot easier. I was really happy with the color after that. So we are going to get started, and let's start filling our cake. All right, so my cake is already cut into 3 layers, and I just have some chocolate filling. Push that down a little. Okay, so I'm gonna be filling it twice. And this is the perfect cake to make if you want take something to a barbecue, or maybe Father's Day. Labor Day is this weekend, so I'm actually doing the Nailed It cake kits, and this is the cake that all the kids would be doing for this weekend. I thought it was really fun. Let me get this paper towel. All right, so we have our cake filled. We're gonna start frosting it with our gray frosting that we made. And I am just using vanilla whip. So let's start on the bottom with this. Let's see, I'll show you this way. I think sometimes I go a little too fast with this part. And then we'll get the rest of our frosting. But I have to cut that back because I forgot to. So let's cut this piping bag. I only cut them a little bit to get the air out. So it's not really gonna help me frost the cake with that small hole. So let's continue to do this. My bag ripped. So, easy fix. Just throw it in the other bag. All right. So we'll finish this. This is gonna be the sides of the grill. All right. Let's see, I put some on top. So now we can start smoothing our frosting out. Now you could start with the top, or you can start with the sides, kind of whatever you're filling. Sometimes I start with the top, sometimes I start with the sides. Okay, so now with this scraper, you want to keep it flat. If you're picking it up or kind of like having it at an angle, your cake is not going to be as smooth and your lines won't be as straight. So this might be a little crooked. Let me see. I always save my frosting too in case I need it for later, or maybe you're taking it to a barbecue and when you pick it up to box it, you stick your finger in it or something. So it's always good to save the frosting until the cake is where it should be. All right, so you can see that there are some cracks in there still. That's where my knife is gonna come in again. Get this frosting and just kind of fill those little holes. This is what everyone always worries about, getting the frosting smooth, and it's fine. Actually, a lot of people like when it's not smooth. I think it looks nicer, so don't stress out about that. Okay, so I'm just putting some on the top so that my rim on top is even. And then I'll smooth that out again. So with one hand you are turning your turntable and the other hand you're keeping still so that, like I said, it's going to be as straight as possible. And let me know if you guys want to see a video of just frosting. I can slow it down, we can zoom in so that maybe you feel better about it, because I frost about 12 cakes a weekend, so this is the simplest part for me, or maybe not the simplest, but the fastest. And I try not to go too fast, but all right, so that looks good. Now I'm gonna smooth out the top. You can see the little edges. So what I'm gonna do here is you wanna eyeball it so that you're going where the lowest part of the frosting is sticking up. So I wouldn't start right here, right there, because it's a little higher. I see that it's pretty low right here, so I'm gonna start there, make that flat and straight, and I'm gonna pull it towards me, clean it, turn it again, level this side with the one I just scraped, also again towards me so that it's flat. So let's see. I wish I had someone recording me so you guys could see exactly what I'm doing. Let's see. Try to, just like that. You see how this side's straight now? Nice and flat. And then I'm gonna continue so that the entire cake is like that. Okay, so after this, we're gonna do the black drip. So we'll just have to warm up our bottle for about 15 seconds because mine's room temperature. If you have your drip in the front, in the drip bottle, your frosting in the drip bottle, and you just put it in there and it's kind of cold or it's hard, you might have to warm it up again, but I only do 15 minutes or 15 seconds at a time so that my stuff's not melted at one end and fried on the other. Okay, so I am thinking this is good, nice and flat on top. Okay, so this is frosted. I am going to clean up my board and I'm gonna heat up my black frosting that's in my drip bottle. Okay, so I have my frosting warmed up in my drip bottle, cleaned my board. Now I'm gonna start on my drip. Let's get a little bit closer so you guys can see. Again, I never frosted anything like this before. So what I do is I go light and then kind of squeeze extra where I want the drip to be. So let me show you. So I go straight, squeeze, straight, squeeze, straight, squeeze, like that. Exactly where I want my drip to be. And then once I'm done with the sides, I'm gonna fill the whole top with my frosting and smooth that out. Okay, so I have my cake frosted and drip on top. Let me know if you guys like the time lapse or if you guys would rather see exactly what I'm doing at each moment. I feel like my videos are a little long, so I'm trying to cut them back, but if you feel better seeing the whole entire process slowly, just let me know and I'll change that. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is, let's make our Rice Krispie. So we're gonna put this to the side for a moment. And I have my marshmallows, my cereal, my butter with my little bit of brown dye in it, and my cocoa powder. So you guys can totally do the chocolate Rice Krispie cereal. That's pretty much what I'm doing. It's what my mom told me to do. You guys listen to your moms because it would have made life so much easier if I did that this time around. But I didn't, so this is the process that I'm gonna use this time. So you wanna have a microwave safe bowl to put this butter and dye in. And you're just gonna want to heat up the marshmallows with the butter and dye first, and then you can add everything to that. So with my marshmallows, I didn't really measure it. I would say about 2/3 of a cup of marshmallows. My butter, I used a 1/2 tablespoon. Okay, so I'm gonna heat this up for about 15 seconds. It doesn't need to be extremely melted or totally melted because we are gonna mix some other stuff with it. So we'll be able to kind of get those little bumps out as we incorporate everything else. Okay, let me put this in there. Here's a patty I did ahead of time because this was my first one doing. So it kind of looks cool. And we're gonna be painting the grill lines on here as well. Okay, so this is how it looks after 15 seconds. My butter is melted. And you can see my brown, and that's just one drop of brown dye, and Mary color, of course. All right, so we can add our cocoa, and the cocoa I put about a teaspoon, and that was just to make it a little extra brown because I didn't like how brown it came out. Okay, so for our cereal part, I put extra in my bag, but I'm most likely not gonna use it all. It's a small cake, so you don't want your patty to be too big. I would say start off with a handful and then just add it as you see fit. So see, it's still a little on the runny side, so I'm gonna add a little bit more. So another handful. My hands are small. and that didn't even need too much. Okay, so I don't know about you guys when you guys make Rice Krispie treats, but I usually let it sit for a moment so it's not too gooey and I'm able to shape it as I'd like. So I'll put this to the side and we will get this one out that I already made. So let's do our grill lines and we'll put this to the side and finish up with our cake. So, let me just get a good piece. Okay, so I'm gonna use this side. To make this shape, I rolled it into a ball, all of the Rice Krispie that I made. Rolled it into a ball and kind of flattened it. The edges were a little, let's see, were a little like this when I first did it. So just kind of like mold it. I put it straight like this and kind of rounded out those edges that looked kind of weird still, and then flattened it as I wanted. That's why it's so much easier when it's not still warm right out of the microwave, because you can kind of work with it a little bit easier. Okay, so enough of that. Let's get our black dye. If you're black, so these are kits that I'm doing. This is all the stuff that's gonna be included in the kits for my Instagram Labor Day Kids Nailed It. So kids who got this kit for Labor Day, if this black is a little dried out, so it's just one drop of black dye, AmeriColor dye. If it's dry, you can add water. You only need this for the grill lines. So what I'm gonna do is start those lines just like that. And I have never done this before, this cake or any kind of patties like this, so I don't really know how many lines to do. So you guys do what you want. Do what feels right. I'm just going, and I don't want them too black because then it'll kind of look like burnt. Alright, so I'll show you guys. This is my patty. Might look a little too perfect, I don't know. How do patties look? I can't even think about a patty right now. Okay, so this is the patty I'm gonna use. If you want, you can add, I didn't wanna include fondant with this one because I feel like the last couple have had a lot of fondant work. But if you would like to, you can make a little bit of yellow fondant, roll it out and kind of make a square for a little slice of cheese. But this time around, I really wanted you to be able to see the grill lines, so I decided not to do the fondant cheese. But if you did or you want to, please send me a picture to my Instagram page at That Baker Lady, and I'd really like to see it. Okay, so let's get back to our cake. I am going to make some little lines on top, see how it works. I have a shaky hand when it comes to like real fine frosting. So I don't know how straight these grill lines are gonna be, but let's see. I'm gonna, maybe I'll just do this. So just very lightly. Our cake has been sitting here, so it's not too gooey. You can see one line right there. Let's do a couple more. And this is what we're gonna use our other gray frosting for these grill lines. And I think it goes the other way too, right? I don't know. What does a grill look like, you guys? Am I making like too much of a checkered? Okay, I'm gonna leave it like this, I think. Yeah, okay. So I'm doing this. I try not to make it checker, so it's a little more spread out. I'm thinking about how these would be made on the grill, so I don't want to do them too small or too many. So let's get our gray frosting in our piping bag. Again, I do not have a tip on here. My bag is cut very thin so that I am able to make these. See, it's really thin. Okay, so I'm gonna use these lines that these lines as a guide for my grill lines for our frosting. So let's see, I think I'm gonna do it away from me, like this. Pretty straight, right? That worked. I have never done anything like this before, and I'm assuming a lot of you haven't either, so don't worry about it. It's a grill. Maybe your grill has been sitting out for a while, not being used, and it's not so perfect, which is fine. Ooh. All right, touch a little bit of the black. Now, what are you guys doing for Labor Day? I see a lot more people out these days, getting together, having parties, barbecuing. So that's nice that people are able to get together like that. Right. So after this, all we have to do is put our patty on top. Right here. Oh, let me try to. Okay, so there's our grill. And we have our patty right on top. So you could even add some red flames, some red and orange flames, maybe some coal coming out from like the grill lines, or whatever you guys do. Let me know. Please show me, send me a picture, tag me. I would love to see them. I hope you guys have a nice, fun, and safe Labor Day. Again, you can also make this for Father's Day, or maybe a birthday for a special person who likes to grill. But I hope you guys had fun watching this video and participating in the Nailed It.